Okay, guys, we're back with another episode of our podcast.
Welcome back.
I thought you said you didn't have anything to say.
Well, I can say welcome back.
Okay, guys. Well, this is episode number 6, I believe.
Use your other hand.
I'm almost positive this is episode number 6. Use this hand?
But now there's not a shadow on your face.
Oh, okay. So that means we're doing half of it on YouTube and the other half on Patreon. So we're going to have to figure out how to actually make that happen. Let's watch the time.
Well, we're not. Dan will have to.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. A lot of times when people say, hey, we should go clean up that bedroom, what they're really saying is, you should go clean up that bedroom. Have you ever noticed that? Think about it. Every time you hear someone say, should we, like when people ask in the phrase, hey, should we go and organize the van? They're usually saying, should you go do it? I get that a lot from you, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, Dan, let's be honest. Dan is definitely the messier one. He's like a storm. You can tell absolutely
Storm
every
chaser.
single thing he's done that day based off of what is out of place and what is laying out still. Like I know if he has or hasn't brushed his teeth, and I know if he's still in his pajamas, and I know, but that's typically how I say it. Yeah.
You can also know what I've eaten that day by what's on my face.
You do. You leave a trail on your face or your fingers or your shirt from where you wiped your fingers.
When we get to the Patreon version, I want to get a little risque.
Okay.
I want to make it go from PG to PG-13. I want to drop some heavy opinions for the Patreons. So, guys, if you want some heavy opinions, make sure to join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Allie and Dan. It's that easy to find us. All right, let's seriously get into the podcast now.
Let's do it. What do you have first up?
Well, first up, I was thinking you could tell us how your midwife appointment went, because I know the Van Fam has been wanting to know ever since our Sunday Night Live, which was a blast this last Sunday. How'd the midwife appointment go?
Yeah, well, obviously I'm kind of silly. Bella, come here. The midwife appointment went well. However, I had all my tests taken, so we don't really have a ton of answers. So I had a full panel, they called it, where they just check all of my organs and whatever. And then I will go in on Thursday morning for a glucose screening, which will give us a better read, because it could be... we should probably tell you guys where we are.
Yeah.
But the glucose screening will give us more of a read on that, and then we can have those answers. So I'm measuring normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's kind of the only thing we know for sure. Excuse me. It's kind of the only thing we know for sure. And yeah, but we aren't concerned or anything based off of that so far.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. There's some commotion if you're listening. We've got a new dog in the Van Fam for the next week, because we're doing a new house sit.
This is our bonus house sit dog, Belle.
She's really cute.
She's very cute.
She's like, she looks like a miniature husky.
She's a something Pomsky.
Oh, really? Pomeranian
husky.
Oh.
Come here.
She's kind of squirrely though. She never stops moving.
This is her first time without her parents.
That doesn't surprise me.
That could be the reason why she's just
staring at the door waiting for them to come back. Little does she know they're going to be gone for like a week.
But we're going to have lots of fun.
And then her and Pig and Huck get along. Huck loves to get up in her face, and she doesn't really like that. So yeah, everything's going well. We're in Bellingham, Washington officially. We're on the final leg of our pregnancy journey, really. And we got in yesterday, went straight to the midwife appointment. Like Allie said, everything's pretty much fine. And it looks like we can probably follow our birth plan. Right?
Yeah, hopefully. We will know more once we get the blood test back, but everything should be okay.
Confident. I like it. Very confident.
I'm going to wait until we get all the answers to sort of celebrate and try and, be on that mind frame. But that's soon. Anyways.
So we're at this house sit, and we were talking to the homeowners, and Huck peed in the neighbor's yard, which is like it wasn't even their yard. It was just kind of their driveway. And it was a rock driveway, and then the woman was out there.
Peed in their rock driveway.
The woman was out there, and she's like, "He peed on my property," and she was freaking out. And I didn't hear it because I was driving the van to the parking spot. But apparently, these neighbors that are just right over here, and we share a driveway with them, are freaks of nature.
The owners of this house, the people we are house sitting for, are amazing, and
they seem really cool.
Didn't seem to bother, and he said we've had a number of problems with them.
Multiple lawyers involved.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I feel really bad for them. So hopefully they don't get another lawyer involved for some pee on their gravel.
He said they're raging socialists from Switzerland.
Oh, really?
And they're like teachers or something, and they they sound like real pieces of work. So we hopefully will have to just stay out of their way. I mean, we're only here for a week.
Yeah, I mean, Huck shouldn't have been off leash, but also the driveway is like, they share it. So it's a shared driveway that he peed on. Whatever.
It's really a weird situation.
Very.
But we're excited to be here. We have a good house sit. And
we can actually see Chuckanut Bay from the windows here. So that's really nice, and we have quite a lot to do this week, and this will be a good place to rest and shower and all that, and hang out with the dogs when we are not running errands and taking care of things.
Yeah. And this podcast is a little bit late because we have had no time to do it, so we're fitting in late on our release day, which we don't like to do. We like to stick to our podcast schedule, but been busy. We've had a lot going on. We have had the junk shuffle, I like to call. We have a number of sports that we're into and just baby stuff now. And we had the entire van just packed to the rafters, and then had to take some of it to a warehouse to drop it off. We're just going to leave it there for a little while. And then we had even more stuff to pick up, more baby stuff to pick up at the chalet. And now we're finally starting to calm down. Then we have to go through it all, open it all, and sounds about a few hours of work.
Organize it all. For Dan, because I do it all, but for me, it will be a couple of days.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get into current events, okay? Let's just get right into current events. I mean, the biggest current event, and I'm sure you've got some thoughts on the Queen of England died.
Oh,
that's my British accent.
That's terrible.
Long live the Queen.
That's horrendous. Give it another go.
Oi, the Queen of England's died.
That's better. It was a little Australian, though. Give it another go.
Okay, hold on. Hey, mate. The Queen of England's passed.
That's Australian.
I don't know how to do British then. I'm just really good at Australian, I guess.
Okay.
So let me do it in Australian.
You're really good at Australian?
Let me do it in Australian because Australia is basically England for me. Oi! The Queen of England's died.
You got the died right.
Oi!
Died.
What do you think of that, mate?
I don't know. Guys, rate Dan's horrible accent below, please.
I want to talk about the Queen.
The thing is, though, my accent's no better, even though I live there.
Right. I know. Yours is probably worse.
Dan's never heard it, so
Well, let's hear it. Tell me the Queen has died.
I don't have one.
Let me hear it. Tell me the Queen has died.
I don't even have one.
Okay, well, what are your thoughts? The Queen has reigned forever, it felt like. I'm not really into the Queen and the monarchy. I think most people understand that it's a complete, just public figurehead, but I really don't. I just think it's another huge scam. I'm sure they're embezzling money. I'm sure there's like some.
Really?
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, I'm not sure of anything. I don't really know, but I've never really paid attention or cared.
Same here.
But it is sad that she died. But I think she had a wonderful life. So that's what happens to people
she was the
who
Queen
are
of England, mate,
in their 90s. So it's.
Well, let me tell you something.
It's sad for her family, but it's crazy that the whole country is sad about it because
I don't think they're sad about it. I think they're pretty happy they get a bunch of time off work.
Oh yeah, 2 weeks apparently.
I've heard. I'm pretty sure that's right. I don't know if that's right, but I heard they get 2 weeks off when a monarch dies or whatever, like when the Queen or the King dies.
But like, if our president died, would people be like super sad and mourning death?
No one cares when a puppet dies.
Wow.
When a scam artist dies, I don't think too many people care. Sometimes I think people used to care. They probably used to, but
So
now that we all know everything's kind of a scam.
If any American dies, do we get 2 weeks off?
No, we should change that though. I'm all for if the president dies, we get 2 weeks off, but I guess that doesn't really even apply to us.
Well,
because we can't take time off.
I don't want to sound like we don't care that the Queen died, but
I don't care that the Queen died.
Yeah, it doesn't really.
Yeah, I mean,
concern me.
Well, she lived a pretty good life as the Queen.
Did she do? She must have done a lot for England. I must not. I don't know. Did she?
Who knows?
So maybe that's why people would be sad, or I don't know.
Well, I don't think anyone's really sad.
I feel like dumb. I think maybe I've never been interested in English.
No.
Heritage, culture. What would that word be?
Culture, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I don't think anyone's sad. I think people pretend to care, just because it's like an event.
Sure. Which I think is interesting. I mean, it's an event. It's crazy that they still have a queen. So
Yeah.
is what's her face a queen now? I don't even know her name.
I wish Meghan Markle would become queen. Because she's an American. So we could infiltrate.
No.
But everyone hates Meghan Markle.
Kate Middleton.
No, she's not a queen either.
Is she going to become the queen, though?
I guess theoretically. So fat finger Prince Charles right now is now King Charles. He has fat sausage fingers. They're really
I don't even know who you're talking about. I don't even have a picture of a person in my...
Well, King Charles is king now, and he was the queen. He's the queen's oldest.
Is that her husband?
No.
Kate Middleton's husband?
No, that's Prince William.
Oh.
Let me see.
Sorry, guys. It's shocking how...
Yeah, sorry, guys. This is what happens when you don't watch the news.
Out of it I am.
You don't know who Prince Charles and his fat sausage fingers is.
Well, would that come from watching the news or just being English and like knowing that kind of stuff?
Well, I mean,
you
would have seen him on the news if you'd watched it in the last few days. But yeah, he's king now. So, and he's pretty old. So if he dies soon, and he's got huge fat sausage fingers, which means he's probably not in the best health. So if he dies soon, that's another 2 weeks off. So when you start adding up all these 2-week paid vacations over there in the UK,
they've got. We should move. Should we?
Looks
consider,
pretty sweet. Well,
should we consider jumping across the pond?
No, because I would never take 2 weeks off from our van fam.
There you have it, van fam.
Sorry. But yeah, I mean, imagine you're working a dead end job and you are desperate for some time off, and all of a sudden the queen dies.
That's the thing is, I have plenty of friends right now who who could really use 2 weeks off.
Exactly.
Just a break from life.
Yeah. So they say the new thing now is that King Charles is now inherit a stupid amount of wealth.
But he's on his deathbed.
No.
Oh.
No, he's just got fat sausage fingers, so he's probably unhealthy.
Okay.
But he's now like super wealthy because these old families, you know, they've been running scams for so long and been holding their money together for so long that they're all super wealthy. And
well,
they get
I
to
do
run
see
around
they
and
do
play.
quite a bit of charity. No?
A lot of charities.
Or is that all for show?
Well, see, that's what we don't know.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of it could be for show.
That's tough.
I don't trust anyone that's like running around calling themselves the Queen of England or the King of England, you know? It's like, I think that's one of the biggest issues in our time right now.
Do you think
is
if we
trusting
had
these politicians and these huge public figures? I mean, it's like...
Do you think if we had a king and queen in the States, we would be more in tune with what's...
That'd
we
be
would
so
care
funny to
more?
imagine.
I don't know.
What if we had a king and queen?
What if I was a Dutch queen?
Well, then I would be super happy because you'd be loaded. But I'd have to get in on some of your crimes and your scams, which I'd probably be okay with.
So crimes and scams are okay if you do them, but
For sure.
obviously not if anyone with a higher power does.
For sure. Yeah, if you're committing the scam, obviously it's okay.
Sure.
But
Makes
typically
sense.
the rest of the people around you are not going to be happy because they're usually the ones getting scammed. So, yeah, so unfortunately, you know, we've got now there's just a bunch of hoopla about that. But a lot of people think Prince William is going to have a really long reign. And now he had a son, Prince George.
A little kid?
Yeah, he's probably like 5 or 6 now.
He will
With
be...
Kate Middleton.
Yeah, don't they have a couple of kids?
I think so.
Yeah. And he will be the one proceeding?
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, it's something out of like a stupid show almost. Sounds like you're talking about Game of Thrones. It's like you have to have a firstborn. Well, I guess the queen was not a man, so yeah, I guess they're a little progressive these days.
Oh, it's
but
a firstborn son gets it?
well, no, I guess not because the queen was there.
You shouldn't be too upset. You're a firstborn son, so you would get...
I would be stoked if I mean, that'd be awesome. But imagine being the second-born son, like Prince Harry.
Yeah, that's...
He's got it now, marry Meghan Markle, who everyone hates.
Why do people hate her?
I don't know. She was in Suits, and I thought she was pretty good in Suits.
I thought she was wonderful in Suits, and do they hate her because she's American? A lot of people hate Americans.
Could be.
Unsure the hatred is deserved, but I don't know her personally, so...
Well, I think she went on the Oprah show and complained about how rough her life is as a princess or whatever. So, you know, people tend to hate that stuff.
Yeah, well, maybe it sucks.
Well, everyone has problems, that's for sure. Nobody's life is, no matter, I mean, if you're the queen or you're
The
Meghan
princess.
Markle, yeah.
You still have
Everyone's
problems.
got problems, but it's all relative, you know. It's like, these people are eating probably filet mignons every night and lobster, surf and turf every night, I'm guessing. So is your life really that bad?
All I would want is just like a garden fresh salad.
Oh my God, what a
every single
wasted
night.
monarchy that would be.
I don't
You
know.
wouldn't be much of a good royalty because you wouldn't indulge enough
Well,
to
I
be royalty.
mean, I'd have a oat milk latte made for me every day and a really nice breakfast like
Would you have the bacon stripped that morning? Well, this is how royalty works.
You think that's how they live? No,
Yes.
but maybe the eggs grabbed from the free-range chickens,
Okay.
which you can do just if you live in a house, you can do it yourself.
We could have
But-
done that on Hawaii.
I know. But we're not doing it.
I'm so sick of talking about this royal family.
Let's move on.
Okay, let's get on to new current events. So, we were just watching the Keely Rodney Adventures with Purpose video.
Kylie, but yeah.
Kylie Rodney, sorry, I keep saying that.
I keep saying Keely too, but Kylie Rodney, the Adventures with Purpose video. So
It looked like a really good video.
To
I mean,
be
it was a really good video.
It was an amazing video, but to be fair, as soon as they found her vehicle and her in it, I kind of just assumed she drove off into the lake.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, there's quite a bit more speculation only because nothing is confirmed, because not many people have come forwards with information from the party that she went missing after leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not, I believe it's like another week or so before they release full autopsy results and toxicology. And I don't know what it's called, but they're doing all of the results in the vehicle to see like if, maybe she was drugged, maybe she was just drunk, maybe the vehicle malfunctioned, probably not, but did she try and slam on the brakes? Was there restraint in the vehicle? That sort of thing. Was there somebody else in the vehicle who broke the window, who jumped out?
So there was a window broken, right?
Yeah. I think they said the passenger and the driver's side rear window was halfway down. So did somebody go down with the car and break a window and get out?
Sounds kind of like the last episode of season 1, Succession. Remember that episode?
Oh.
Where Kendall Roy, spoiler alert, swims off and the kid dies. Great show, by the way, Succession.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite shows.
It's the best show I've ever seen, I can say that.
But, we don't know. They don't know.
Of course.
They don't have answers yet. But a lot of people were saying there was some sketchy information, and I struggled to find anything. I hadn't been watching it closely because we've had so much going on in the past few weeks.
So busy.
And because I've assumed that she just drove off into the lake by accident. There's so many things for them to look at.
Yeah, the Van Fam said it's been a little bit suspect. So we'll have to take the Van Fam's word on that.
Yeah. I need to find better articles and videos because I haven't been glued to them like I was with the Gabby Petito case.
We need to find some good cases, and not even just cases. I keep saying cases, but not just cases, but we need to find some interesting things to go and investigate. I want to get a good investigative vlog out. We've got our Hawaii vlogs that I'm going to edit probably tomorrow. And I think there might be a couple because there's a lot of footage. Some really good footage, guys, from Hawaii. But we've got to find some good investigative. Maybe we should go spend a night in a van life in the Seattle slums. Because, the homeless problem in Seattle is out of control.
Would it be interesting if I went and sat in, like, bum-ish clothes on a street corner?
See how much you can make?
How could we record that, though? Like, I can't just sit on a corner. It's mainly just to see, like, what interactions I have. Because what I used to have in my van, like, apples or oranges or granola bars that I could, like, throw out the window. But I never gave money to homeless people, but I'd give them fruit. And some people would walk up and be like, oh, hey, thanks. And some people would be like, and you'd be like, they're just after drugs, obviously. But,
fruit. Oh, it'd piss me off.
But it's just interesting. Would you guys be curious in seeing what happened or how people treated me?
Are you saying you want to do a social experiment where you dress up as a houseless
I'm pregnant,
person?
So maybe people would
give you more money?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Whew,
no
that's
idea
heavy.
What people would say.
That's heavy. A social experiment where you go dress up as a homeless woman expecting her first baby and see what type of interactions you get. That's what you're saying to me.
But like you be not far off.
Okay.
You
With
know?
a camera
Yeah.
and the van fam?
And then like maybe somebody will be like, here, let me take you to the hospital, and I'll get in their car, and then you have to run them back to the van and follow us.
Well, now you've taken it to a whole new level. I don't know if I want to do that.
Well, I probably won't get in the car with a stranger, but I mean, you just never know. There was a girl today on the corner in Bellingham at a busy streetlight, and I noticed like all the people in the car were looking at her because she looked, I don't know, maybe she had pretty hair. She looked like it was interesting because you usually see like really Raggedy
Ann.
to be honest.
Yeah.
And she didn't look that ratty. And I think a lot of people were just curious. And I thought to myself, is she doing an experiment?
Well, a lot of people that beg for money, and this is just, from my past, I've seen it myself. They do it with like as a job, not because they're in need.
I met a guy named Jason who sits on the corner I used to live in Capitol Hill for a couple of months in Seattle, and I had a bunch of girlfriends in town, and I took them out for the evening, and we went and got hot dogs at a hot dog stand afterwards, and there was a homeless
Yum.
man, and we had seen the homeless man a couple of times, and this time I decided to finally like chat it up with him and just see what was going on. I asked him if he wanted us to buy him a hot dog, and he was like, no, I'm just making money, thanks, don't worry about it. He had 4 kids at home. He said, this is just what I do on a Friday night, and I go home and I make my family some extra cash, and then we can have a good weekend together.
At least he was honest about it.
Yeah. And he was like, I appreciate the offer, but don't worry about it. You
He's
enjoy
like-
your hot dog. Other people are going to give me money.
Other people. He's
And
like,
he was
I'll get money
sitting
from other suckers.
strategically by the hot dog stand where people are like whipping out money.
Yeah.
Belle, come here.
This dog is whining so much, guys.
I think she's a little sad or something.
Come here, Belle.
Come here, Belle.
This is so unprofessional on our Allie and Dan podcast.
Please excuse us, but
Come on up.
come here, Belle.
Up.
Come on up. Come here.
Up.
And so,
She looks like she's got some terrier in her. There we
anyway,
go.
she was just hi. He was just sitting there doing that for his family, making some extra money. 4 kids is a lot of money.
Yeah,
So-
well, listen, if I need to do that for our family, I'm happy to do so. But typically, I don't ever give money out.
People will have never seen such a good-looking bum.
Oh my gosh. Well, I would actually probably dirty myself up quite a bit for the gig. Although maybe not. Maybe it's better to, look like you're really working on your cleanliness and your hygiene. And then people say, hey, this guy's got it figured out. He just hit a rough patch. Let me hit him with a 20 spot. Versus, like, oh, screw this guy. He's dirty and he's probably just, doing drugs and all that stuff.
It's just interesting because it's not like it's a bad thing to give money to homeless people. That's, but there's a lot of...
It's not a bad thing.
It's just interesting. And I just wish, there's so many stories of how some rich man will go clean up a person and, leave them back off into the world. And that's great if people want to better their lives. But a lot of people are just stuck on drugs. And that's why I don't want to give them cash.
Right. Cash is king, though, in my opinion. So whatever you have to do to get cash, you should be able to do. You should be willing to do. You know what I mean? Whether it's a scam, whether it's... this is just me observing reality, right? If I look at the world we live in, most things are a scam when it comes to not just everyday people, not everyday people, but when we're talking about businesses and corporations and politics and businessmen and banking and all that, everything's pretty much a scam.
Excuse me, not everybody, I think, thinks or knows that it's a scam. Though I learn of new scams all the time, and a lot of it's because of you.
Right.
You have opened my eyes to it, but I've always been skeptical. of
Well, you have to be.
a lot of things, because things just don't seem quite right, especially after traveling and seeing the way other countries do things. I'm sure they have their own scams, but U.S. seems to be really, really high in the scams.
There's a lot of scams people don't know about, or they, a lot of people, I think, and I myself included, we want to live in this like world where everything's the way we're told it is, and unfortunately that would just be way too convenient. If things were exactly the way we've been told they were our whole lives,
I know.
It's
sometimes it's like ignorance is bliss, and you just don't even want to think about it or know about it. Then you're like, but this can't be right, and it's because it's not.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people in the back of their minds know that something's wrong, or like this doesn't quite feel right, or this doesn't. We all have like intuition, and so sometimes it's like this doesn't quite make sense.
But I also think it's not ignorance is bliss so much as that like I just try not to spend too much of my energy thinking about it, because
that's good. That's good to do, so you can be overcoming, because this stuff can be, sometimes when you think that way, it can be kind of heavy and you can kind of bring you down and make you depressed. But I think it's important that you don't let it, you don't ignore stuff. And this dog is scamming me right now.
Well, anyways, so that's pretty good first half of the podcast.
Wow, first half comes and goes.
As we sit here and chat about scams.
We just started talking scams, so let's make it a little more risque for the Patreons. So guys, if you want to join us, we're going to finish off the second half of this episode over on Patreon, patreon.com/Allie and Dan. We'll see you over there.